Oh, hey, hey, welcome in everybody. It's Michael One here, aka Gun the Morning Works, and we are live. And guess what? We're back. The Rex is back. The Metal Gear Rex project is back on the bench, and because I've been off work for recovery for a while, or surgery recovery, so I've had plenty of time to paint. And now that I'm feeling up to it, so I actually got a lot of paint done. I've actually got most all of the paint done. Well, the initial color. But what I've got to do next is start masking for the. What I was going to do tonight was I was going to start the panel lining, stuff like that. But then I realized that I'd have to do the green color on the Rex. I got to mask everything off to do that second color. So if I did all the panel lining, then I just have to go back and do it over again after I did the green color. So instead, I decided to tonight will be just masking all of the very as many pieces as I can get done, but masking those areas that are going to paint with the green. And so I've got the booklet out here. The instruction booklet has kind of some reference photos for that camel pattern, so that's what I'm going to use and use that as reference and probably replicate it as close as I can, and we'll see how it goes. So anyway, let's bring up comments. Nobody in yet. How's it going, everybody? So let me go down to take a look at the bench, and then you'll see exactly. So this is the basically the head portion. I got the back, the legs here, some other pieces. There's still some that's unassembled, and I'll go into a little bit about that because as I'm doing the head here, this has the wiring for the lighting. I'm going to show I took the plugs out so I can, now that everything's painted, I can show the lighting, see what that looks like again, and then talk about the portion that basically the neck that this attaches to, because I've got to run these wires through. And one of the things I thought that I had done when I planned it properly was I had two exit holes here at the back where the stand goes, but the pieces that go in here might be in the way, so I might have to rethink that a little bit. So I'll go into that a little bit of detail too. So anyway, chime in the comments if you're here. Let me know what's going on, what you're building today on this hump day, and we'll get started. So let me go down to the close up here, and I'll show off the head here real quick. So the cockpit I'm going to leave closed. I'm not going to have it open. I mean, there's nobody in the seat anyway. I could have it open. I guess it's all painted essentially, but I'll just pop it open so we can kind of take a look. So yeah, everything inside is painted, but again, I'm not going to have it open. So this kind of fits rather precisely just to kind of get it to shut there. There we go. And that will hang out like that. And then let me plug in my little battery here so everybody can see the lighting. Let's see, negative. I'm using some small magnet wire for this because of the tight tolerances. I couldn't fit my other. So there we go. There's all the fiber optics. There's one single LED running on 3 volts, and then I've got 4 strands of fiber optic going to the 2 lights on each side. So that's all the lighting that's going to be in this. And so earlier on when I was doing this project before Old Gold came up, I was trying to figure out where to put the power supply. So I thought about running it into the backpack here. But these are 2 separate pieces, and it would have to go through the body back up in here. I wasn't sure if that was going to work, and as it turns out, I think I decided to ultimately go out through the bottom. And so this is kind of just barely pressed together. This is the neck portion, which attaches somewhere around here, kind of like this. Hey, what's up, Giovanni? How you doing, man? Good to have you back. So those 2 wires have got to go. I use a little screwdriver here so I can. Those 2 wires have got to go through here, and then feed through and come out through the back here, and then they'll also attach at that point to. This is like the biggest part of the neck here. I'm just going to separate these 2 so you kind of see what's going on. So actually, this is the better one. So this attaches in here Just gonna put that about halfway on. Okay, so this little hatch moves in and out as the neck moves up and down. So those wires are going to come out through the back here. Then there's two small holes drilled, one on each side, which goes through the body here, around through this, above this joint, and then out through the bottom here. Now the neck, or the base here, I thought I had it. Where did I have it? Oh yeah, there it is. So the stand, at least the piece that helps it stand up, fits right in here, just like this. Okay, so there's actually one piece, and I've got that. I think I have it close by. Yeah, it's in here. Hopefully you're doing better. I didn't know that you had surgery. Yeah, I had it almost 3 weeks ago, and it was hernia surgery, so it's not an easy recovery. Everything gets turned black and blue and swells up. There's a lot of trauma going on in the lower abdomen, so it's not exactly fun. Okay, so here's my dilemma with these pieces. This piece attaches in here like so, and I originally had my exit wires coming out through back here. This piece will fit in right like that. So that's, without having the other half on here, you can kind of see. Originally I had them coming through the back here and then out the bottom, but I may have to move that slightly forward and maybe have them, I don't know, come out through here, maybe open this piece up a little bit to make room, because I think I want to run those wires down the spine of this stand here. There's a little piece here too that installs, and this basically just slides forward to make room for this. If you don't have this in, like, this is how this goes. I'll slide this in real quick. So this kind of sits in there like that. And if you wanted to make room for the stand, you pull this forward, and then the stand fits right in here. So now, as you can see, there's really no place for me to run those wires out. I still got to solve this problem. So what's up? Oh, Dio's in the house. How you doing, Manny? Julius, how's it going? How's it going, guys? Giovanni and mostly Big Mike. Yeah, mostly Big Mike. So that's the dilemma I'm dealing with there. I've still got to solve that problem. I may have to rethink where I run these wires. I think out the back here is fine, because I was putting it in areas where they would avoid any of these other connections, when this two halves come together. There's a big polycap that's in here, so I had to go above that and out of the way, and I solved that. But I've just got to figure out how to get these, where to put the actual wires that come out the back, because there's two more. When this other piece goes on the outside here, there's also armor that goes on over that. So this is all covered up. So I've got to somehow figure out where to run those at. So that's another problem for another day. We'll probably try to figure that out tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to be doing some, Giovanni says, I built that kit at the same time you did. Couldn't get it to stand, so just put it away. Oh, cool. Well, did you end up using the little extra, this extra stand? You don't have to use this, but this kind of helps give it extra support. Did you end up using this glass piece, or a clear stand, or did you try not using it? I know you can, but it is a little bit wonky. You almost have to take these and spread out the legs in a way that I'm gonna move this camera down. Looks like I'm a little bit far forward, so let me make an adjustment. There we go. Update that position. So there we go. Now we're a little bit more centered. So I am going to separate these. These do swivel, and there's a large pin that goes into this top portion. I'm going to separate these so I can start masking these panels off for that green color. And you've also got the pistons in there that are all painted. So I think it came out really nice. I actually like the way the shading, the pre-shading is coming along. It's a little bit difficult to do when you do separate pieces like this and then you put it all together, because sometimes your shading, it doesn't, it's difficult to be consistent. So I did have to do some light mist on a couple of these parts to kind of blend everything together because they were a little bit darker in some areas that I wasn't too happy with. So I went ahead and just blended those together, but make those come together. So he says, no, no answer yet. Let me know, Giovanni, if you tried using that plastic stand or not. I did use that when I first snapped it together. Before I did the whole disassembly part, I did use it to help join, help hold it up. And I'm probably going to end up using some form of this base. I may just fashion a new one and use this corner piece, because that's where, see, this doesn't have to, you don't have to use this piece. This is just something if you want to join it in the middle. This will plug right into the corner without it, but it's barely big enough to even display this kit. So I may end up building a new one and just drilling a new hole for that base and, or that stand. So it works out just fine. All right, so let's get started here. I got these little shield pieces here. There's on a ball joint. These will pop on right on the outside of the leg. So I'm going to mask these as well. They'll also be painted with some of that green color. And again, I've got these all here for reference, so I can go ahead. I got my masking. A razor blade. I need my straight edge. Where is my straight edge? There it is. It's hiding under the. All right, let's do this. Did I miss any comments? I don't think so. All good. All good so far. So, are you working, Manny, or are you home now? So it's something you get to finally. I know you're in New York, right, or East Coast, I think. So, tend to be working late sometimes. So I've never done this kind of a camel pattern before. And it's basically just like trapezoidal type shapes. That kind of, there's no real consistency to it other than it just sort of like right angles. So it should go fairly quickly as far as, just deciding where the green's going to go. And what I'm talking about is this here. So if you see, this is my reference photos in the booklet here. So this is the scheme that I'm going for. So I'm going to be masking out those areas that are going to be painted green. And it's I'm using number 52, which is a field gray, but it has a green tint to it. So that's what we'll be using for that secondary color on the body here. And then when I'm done with that, then I can do all the panel lining. But until then, I'm going to have to clear coat everything after that, because this green is a flat color. And a lot of the white that's already on here is also pretty flat, so I'm going to have to clear gloss everything so I can do my panel lines properly. At least 9:50 Eastern, yeah. About done with work. Cool. What's up, Nick? How you doing, bud? Good to have you again. All right, so I'm going to just cut some. Basically, this is 18 millimeter wide Tamiya masking tape. I'm going to cut some 10 millimeter strips, and this is how I'm going to just make all these shapes, just by stacking these together at various angles to make those geometric shapes. I'm not even sure what this kind of camo is called. If you guys know what it's called, by all means chime in if there is a specific name for it. So, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go like this. I am going to continue these lines onto the back of this piece as well, because I noticed that even they painted the green pattern over these vents on this little shield here too. So I'm going to do the same. Once I get around to that other side. I'm sure once I do this for a little while, it'll get a little bit easier, because having not done this pattern before, it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to how to do it just and be able to knock these pieces out pretty quick. So it's going to take some time for me to make sure I'm doing the right thing. You guys can probably hear the high school out there. All the drums going on. Actually, I may have to change that first piece. I want that to be a little bit different angle. So I'm going to pull this piece up so I can get this other one off here real quick and just reposition it. Submit the kit to Older Gold. Did Nick? I don't know, Nick, did you? I don't. If you did, I don't remember. Did you not? Or if you did enter one, maybe you did you finish it? I can't remember. I'm trying to remember who actually entered the contest. I already had my I had a talk with a couple of judges to get their input on the entry, just to see, you know, what the difference makers were. And pretty much it came down to, it was just really, really difficult for them to come up with the winners they had, because there were so many good entries. So it was boiled down to really just some of the, you know, the ones that won were just slightly better. Really, it was about 10 different entries that each one of them had to submit as their favorites, essentially, and then they all had their discussion to figure out who was going to come out on top. There we go. Okay, so this is going to continue around to the bottom side. So basically what we're looking at here is this area here is going to be done in the green. And I'm going to continue that on to the back here. And then when I'm done, I'll just go ahead and block everything else off that I don't want painted. I don't want to get any overspray on. Nick says, no, I didn't. I've been working on the chibi plane since June. Oh yeah, that's right. You're almost you're getting really close though, aren't you? I think, as far as that project. So let's see here. Go this way. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and then we'll change that angle slightly. Had a speck of dust on there. It looked like it was a scratch that I was going to have to redo, but okay, I'm going to join those two corners right there. And then I'll finish off this edge right here. I'll go right like that. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. So this is all going to be masked off. I'm going to cover all that up. This is basically just from here. I'm going to wrap around and get a little bit back here as well. I may do another little piece down here on the tip of this shield. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Oops, I'm going to cut off some more pieces here. What is that? The pattern you were masking? That's what I'm asking, because I don't know what this kind of camouflage is called. It's basically geometric, I guess, for lack of a better term, geometric type camo. So I've already got the base gray color down, and now I'm masking off the areas to make that to put that green on. See, so that's what I'm working on tonight. I was going to do panel lining. I said this in the beginning of the broadcast. I was thinking I was going to be able to do some panel lining But then I realized if I do the panel lining first and then paint the green, I'm going to have to go back and do the panel lining again. So I just started assembling what I could as far as like getting chunks together, getting all the armor pieces on, particularly like these, because there's 3 doors right here that are separate pieces. There's even on the back, there's a set of 8 doors along the top. So if I'm doing any of that camo across these, I'm going to have to make sure all those lines line up. So I just have to basically assemble the piece, and then that way I can mask it all as one, and it'll look more uniform. So let's see how I'm going to do this extra corner bit here. Just going to get a little bit more of that color on this on the edge of this piece here. So I want to see, let's see if I go here, start there and come around. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to go here. There's a tiny little bit exposed. I don't want that to get any paint on it, so I'm just going to take a little scrap of tape, put it right on that little hole, cover that up. Reminds me of World War II test camo on the ships, geometric gray shapes. Yeah, something like that. I mean, that's why I was asking. I don't know exactly if there's a name for it or what it's called, but let's see. I kind of like the way that goes, but I may want to change that up a little bit. Let's start there, and we'll go. I'm just going to have a little tiny chip. So it's just like making, not necessarily right angles, but just chiseled type angles with the masking. I guess is the best way to describe it. All right. I've got to finish off that piece here, so let's go take this. I'm trying to like join these corners right where the panel goes around the other part of the body. That way it's one good continuous line, but so I might be able to do, yeah, I think one more piece. About here. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, so if you roll this over, you got here, a little bit here on the bottom, and then this whole section here on top. So then I'm going to mask the rest of this off just to prevent any overspray. It's going to use a lot of masking tape. Not worried about that, but it is going to use quite a bit of my supplies to make this happen, because there's a lot of surface area that has to be covered. Well, you know what I need? How about this? Does that sound better now? I always forget to turn my mic on. So there's a lot of surface area that's not going to get colored, so I need to make sure all those areas are masked over, so as to not have any overspray, because it's kind of a pain to have to go back and keep touching everything up. Did Julius? Julius did. I know Julius had one. His was the wasn't yours the Max Quedlin Rowe Macross kit, I believe. The old one, not the new, obviously the new Hasegawa, but if I got my memory serves me, which sometimes it doesn't, but I think he had the old Quedlin Rowe Macross one that he converted to like a Max version, Maximilian Genius version. All right, so one down. So now that's ready for paint. What I may do is just pop this hole open here because I've got some sticks that some skewers with nothing on them that I've put some tape around that fit right in that hole, and that will hold them up so I can paint them. Now we'll do the next one. Expect, yeah, the Quedlin Rowe 144. That's what I thought. That was really good too. I mean, could have been any one of us, man. I hope they do it again. Maybe next time I won't have as much going on the weekends, which will take up all my time because I literally had 5 weeks where I didn't get to do any work on the weekends. Only thing I could do was work during the week. I managed to make the deadline, but I didn't have a base or some other things I would have liked to do, but just couldn't because I did not have the time. So I just focused on the kit being the star. You know, the presentation is one thing, but ultimately the kit is what you want to shine, and I think I did a good job of that. It's just let's see here. Yeah, it was a nice build for sure. Okay. And we're starting the second piece here. Gosh. I don't know what's going on with all the police cruisers out there, but there's a ton of sirens going on down the street. Sometimes it has to do with the school. So it could just be something going on from the school. Maybe they won and they're blaring all their horns. That's what they like to do. I've heard them do that before when they win a game. Let's see here. Maybe I can add like a little, yeah, just like that. Go around that corner. Let's see here. Thanks for the compliments on my entry. Yours is great too. Oh, no problem, Julius. It was great. I mean, we did exactly what we were asked to do. You know, but like I said, there was just some that were just a little better. That's all that we can really say about it. You know, everything else is. So I thought mine was pretty good, but you know, the thing with doing a cell shaded paint scheme is, and the type of cell shading I was trying to reproduce was the look of hand drawn anime, which is really a dying art, you know, and so the lines aren't always perfect. you'll have little variances sometimes depending on the panels, and while doing that kind of pattern, or doing that kind of cell shading. So I think I did a good job of reproducing, or replicating a anime cell shading. But someone may look at that and say, well, the lines are, they're not perfect. And that's true, because again, it's trying to create the illusion of hand-drawn anime. So it is what it is. But I've learned quite a bit. I've done that thing I've done it 3 times now. 3 different kits I've done that cell shading on. I've learned quite a bit on each one, especially when using those Posca paint pens and how they react and stuff like that. So, next time, I know there will be a next time. I'll probably take a little bit different approach even and try to, make it even better. So each time, each attempt gets better and better. That's all you can hope for. Right? That's why. The point is, try something new, Don't always be roped into the same thing. There's some guys that are great painters and but they don't do weathering or anything like that. They just do very clean paint jobs all the time, and that's fine. But I like to, for myself anyway, I like to try new techniques and stuff like that. I want to be inspired by other people's, work and some of the things they do, and try something different. So when I saw that cell shading, I was like, man, this is cool. I'm going to do that. So I tried it. Came out okay, but could have been better. So the next time it was even better than that, and I think it was even better than that the 3rd time. So. All right, so I'm kind of getting the idea of how to just throw down these random shapes. Once I visualize where it's going to go, then it's just a matter of popping down pieces to the areas that aren't going to have color. Still a little bit tender in the by the incision side on me here. So I've noticed that the more time I spend at the bench, if I'm sitting up a lot, especially because you're kind of crunching your abdomen, that's when I start to feel it. So I'm going to keep going as long as I can go here. It should be fine for the duration, but just letting everybody know, don't let the doctors fool you. I mean, they were telling me originally, like, 10 days, you'll recover in 10 days. So I took a week off of work, stretched it out into 10 days. That's the best I could get with the PTO I had left. And then, the first week is going along, and I'm just like, guys, I am not going to be able to come back in 10 days. There's no way. I mean, I was still black and blue. I mean, it was ridiculous. So, yeah. Like I said, don't let them fool you. It's at least 3 weeks, and I'll be on light duty for another month before I'm reevaluated again, but it'll probably be more like 2 more months of light duty, and so I can make sure I don't repeat this process, because the last thing I want to do is have to go in and do this again. No way. Not fun. So boys, specifically because this type of hernia was more common in men because of the way we're designed a little bit differently. And when they say, don't lift anything, don't do this, don't do that, because You definitely don't want to repeat it. It's not a fun recovery. So right now I'm just filling in the areas that are not going to get paint now that I've got my two shapes that I wanted on this one. I'll cut these in half though. Oh man. Yeah, today's a little sore today. I'll take the next couple of days and just not do much. I think that's the plan. Oh, there we go. That's the spot I was talking about. Because I've been painting a lot this week, trying to get ahead of this again, this project. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be snapping another project together because this was still in paint like it was when I stopped doing it originally, or if I was going to keep working on this. But because I got so much done, I was able to create the broadcast for this project and keep going with it. Next week, hopefully, we'll have all the paint done, and then we'll be able to start panel lining and stuff like that. And I'm going to weather this, so it will look dirty and well used for sure. It's not going to be a clean build, not this time. All right. So I'm gonna. Oh shoot! Missed a little spot right there. Actually, I got a little piece of my 3mm here. There. How's the saying go? Waste not, want not. All right. So now we got both of those little shields with some nice geometric shapes there. Different variations, and now we can move on to the legs now. I still got to do the top of this and everything, but this is the big challenge is going to be masking off all this this white, because I don't want to get any of that green on there. And that's actually not the regular Mr. Color number 1 or flat white number 62. This is I'm using a Gundam color UG01, which has a tiny bit of gray to it, but it is mostly, it looks really white against certain contrasting colors. You got put on light duty once and had to sort all the nuts and bolts in the rack. Oh no. 1/8 2 inch to 1/2 and 14-inch long. Oh boy. Thousands to sort. Well, that sounds like a really boring job to have to do, but I'll be getting one of the younger kids, one of the trainees. Not really, I don't only mean trainees, but our shop is separated into two shops really, and the south shop is like the express area, and so those guys are like the up and coming techs where they're learning the basics like that, but they've got the younger bodies. They can they can handle the doing the lifting for me while I'm on light duty. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to let them do the work, and I'll do more diagnostic stuff, I think, is really what's going to happen. So all right, so I'm just going to cut off a little piece of 6mm here. It must be the school that's got all those sirens going, because they're just non-stop blaring right now. So I'm sorry if that's interfering with the broadcast, but I got the windows open, so it's nice outside. So I'm just going to try to get this piece to sit nice and flat against this. There we go. So as to not get any overspray. Got my little burnishing tool. Wrap that around. Now I won't be seeing this surface here. You see this isn't even painted really. It's just black, the black primer with a little over. So I'm not going to be too worried about getting any green on that, because this will be pushed all the way up like this. So the most that will be exposed is just the sides, really, not the top. I only had it open because I was playing around with what I was going to have to separate to mask this stuff off today. All right, so now we've got that piece there. I got the train coming. I'm getting all the noises tonight. All right, so this is a pretty big block of green on the side here. That's cool. That's all right. Yeah, I think I like that angle better. And then we'll change it up here. Just keep that. Let's see. Get it up there. All right. And then I should just cut all this up all the way down instead of stopping, because I need to keep cutting strips. So I know I'm going to go through all this tape, so I'm just going to keep cutting all these off. Then when I get done, I can put 3 more strips down. I've tried different tape dispensers, and none of them are really easy to use. The glass, you got to put tape on it. It's kind of a little bit of a chore sometimes, but it sure is nice, though. But to use high quality tape, that's for sure. Because let's see, that's the other side. There's nothing really on that side. I'm going to put a little bit over there. That's going to be on the inside of the leg. This is the outside. Yeah, okay. So let's just go across. Yeesh. And now I can hear the drums going, so high school must have won their football game or something. They're just losing their minds. Okay, I think I want to leave this portion covered. Getting louder. Getting louder and louder. So I'm just gonna tuck that in. All right, now I need another little piece of 6-inch or 6 millimeter. So anybody got any questions? Any basic, modeling stuff they want, doesn't have to be necessarily what I'm doing, just in general. If anybody has a question they'd like answered, I'll try to answer it. Try to keep this a little interactive. I mean, it can be kind of mundane at times to just watch somebody like myself just masking, but it's part of the modeling process. All right, I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller of a painted portion, but let's see. Go. How about down here? There we go. Just trying to complete this bottom portion here. There we go. All right, I'm going to only just cover a little bit more of this on the bottom. Don't want to get into my other side here. I got to be careful not to overlap the other side that I've already done. So let's reposition that. There we go. I'm not sure I like that. I think this is a pretty good size tape to use for this kind of thing. You might need some smaller stuff later, but for the larger surface areas like this, it's not bad because you're just putting down. I'm cutting everything with sharp angles, so it makes it nice and uniform. And the lines are going to be straight, that's the whole point. I don't want any necessarily curved lines or anything. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. This side here, that will be green, and then a little bit on the bottom of the inside of the leg. I got to do these portions here. Majority, hey Chris, what's up, buddy? You have this, Matt. Yeah. Make it look like child's mat. You giant. Just because of what? Because I got big hands? Is that what you're trying to say? It isn't that big. There's this thing it's about 6 inches wide. Let's see. 6 inches deep. Maybe 6 by 9. Yeah, it's not that large, so. But it does look kind of tiny on camera, doesn't it? I watch George mostly talk, so watching you mask isn't bad. That's true, because George's camera angle, he's kind of off to the side. I could see why. Let's see why you could say that. All right. It's not necessarily a bad thing. So this will come down to about, I can't because the tape is making it too thick, but it's going to be a little bit less than that. So there'll be a little bit showing. I'm going to mask off the rest of this in the back, probably. At least some of it. I'll just throw a piece down the middle here. Piece or two. Okay, let's see if I've got any angles. I'm trying to look at all sides to see, and using this, the booklet as a reference. So not some of these don't have. Some of these have a lot of green, and then other ones don't have quite as much. I guess it's trying to find that balance of what how much of the brown or the gray is going to be there, and how much of that green is showing. Don't want to overpower one or the other. A little bit something to think about if you're doing this kind of thing. And I put these doors in. I was talking about this earlier. I put the doors into these little missile bays so I can mask over those and paint those green as well, so that everything will blend together nicely. It was necessary for me to assemble all that just because there's no other way to do it, and have your lines, have everything lining up. It'd be impossible to get it right if you try to do it off the separate panels. At least this way I can transition across separate, different panels, because this is a piece, this is a piece, this is a piece. There's all these different interlocking pieces. I mean, in fact, they're not just straight across. Like, this isn't just all the way down. This little corner is all one piece, and then there's a separate piece that goes across this side, and then there's a separate piece that goes, most of the other side. And they all overlap. So there's really no other way to do this other than to assemble it and do it this way. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so let's see what we're gonna do here. Hey, George is in. What's up, George? How you doing, man? We're just masking. We're just talking about it. You see what happens? You say your name 3 times and you showed up. I think that's hilarious. I just pulled the tape off of this, off of these rounds too, because I had painted those gray originally. So I pulled the tape on them because it's not a separate piece. To paint those separately, and then the white piece is separate. That was easy to do. So I pulled the tape, and now I'm kind of regretting pulling that tape, because now I've got to wrap another piece around there if I don't want to get the green paint on there. And yes, Nick, I mostly talk. he's been listening in the shadows, just waiting to bust you, Nick. But we like to hear what you have to say, George. It's not a bad thing. Okay, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to add some more in here to fill in some of these areas. I'm just trying to figure out where I want that green to be. Almost ready to put some more tape down. So I'm running out of the big stuff. Just going to fill in a bit there. I'll put another strip of 3mm around that, probably. Well, I might be able to get away with a longer piece of the 6mm, and then I'll just, smash it down once I get it in place. I said your name too many times. Just saw the comment. It's all good. We're glad you're here, George. So happy to have you in the show anytime you come by. We were talking about Old to Gold earlier a little bit before you chimed in. I don't know when you came in, George, or when you started listening, but I'm talking to Julius, who had the Quedlin Rowe Max version, old 144 Quedlin Rowe kit. We were just talking about how nice that was, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again. It sounds like something that everybody would like to at least try one more time. Old to Gold. Just maybe a different time of year, so I'm not running into time constraints like I did this year. All right, I got some more tape here, so let's replenish the masking glass. And yes, it does pay to have good quality tape. Sometimes it's easy to buy the cheaper stuff. And I've done it too, and it's pay the price when its stuff doesn't stick to anything, won't even stick to itself. I mean, it's just, you end up getting more frustrated with it because it's just garbage. I'll screw that up. Let's start over. Start over. There we go. You know, to me, it can be expensive sometimes, but not to say there isn't some other tape out there that's not bad. Like I bought a bunch of this 3mm stuff on eBay or something. I can't remember. I got a bunch of rolls of it, and it actually is really good tape, and I use it all the time. The 2mm is the same. I got some 1mm, 2mm, and 3mm, and it's really good. But I have some other stuff that is just plain garbage, and I still have it on. It's funny because I still have it on the rack. Like I'm going to use it someday, and then I just look at it, going, "Why is it still sitting there collecting dust?" So I'm just never going to use it. It's such crap. Tape also doesn't lose stickiness. You mean the Tamiya stuff? Hey, what's up, Ron? Sweet thanks. I didn't see you come in there. Let's see. Why are you in? What does it say? Oh, why are you and Ryan into the glass sheet? What's it doing for me? Oh, it makes it easy to cut tape, nice and uniform for one. And it does it like that's what Chris Pabs is saying. And it doesn't lose its stickiness. See, there's the answer. Boom, no stickiness, no loss, unless you got the crap tape. Then of course, then it doesn't stick to anything anyway. So you miss building. Why haven't you been building, Chris? What's going on? Is it a life choice, or is it? Or that's right. Didn't you have a baby or something? Or am I thinking of somebody else? Thanks, George. Yep. Evil man, I must have missed some comments here. Let's see, where are we going? Was it on Zoom? IPMS Region 1. Oh, that's what you were doing, George? You were on your Zoom meeting tonight? Yeah, that's cool. Joyce did awesome and old to gold. Thanks, George. Appreciate it. We do. All right, so I'm still working on it. I want to cut more of these because I know I'm going to use them. I'm just going to go and finish cutting this whole entire strip. I mean, even if I got to do one piece at a time, but at least I'm cutting these at 10 mil. It gives me nice straight edges. And it does pay to have a nice sharp razor blade too, hobby knife, whatever you want to call it. Because then your tape, you can cut your tape properly. If you don't, I mean, if you have a dull blade, you're just tearing it. It's useless. Get rid of it. I'm a fan of these blue. I've been using them. One box. I bought one box of these, and I still have not run out because it was a box of 100. Yeah, 100 blades. X-Acto X Life. They're bluish in color. Comes in a pack of 100. You can find them on Amazon. Might even be in my Amazon store if you look there. Can't remember if I have that one in there or not. I should probably add it. But anyway, they stay sharper longer, and they're pretty durable. I mean, they will snap the tip on any of these sharp blades like this. If you do something wrong, you gotta snap it. But they do work really, really well. I've not been disappointed. Some people like the Olfa stuff, and I get that because they make good blades too. I used to use Olfa when I had my cutting mat when I was making costume stuff. Of the rotary cutters and using Olfa blades for that too. Those are really good. But oops, new comments. I'm missing new comments. You do miss building. Oh, yeah, I already saw that. How come there's? Oh wait, there we go. Good Lord, what did I miss? Okay, I gotta go back here. I went back to the UK last month. The whole family got COVID. And son got hand, foot, and mouth. Good God. We had a really sudden death in the family. Oh, my. I'm sorry to hear that too, Chris. Almost sorry I asked. Damn. Well, this too shall pass, my friend. That's the ultimately the. I mean, I guess loved ones and people passing is part of life, but I'm starting to get to the age where everybody's dropping off, and I have no parents left. Both my parents are gone, and grandparents, of course. My aunt is the only one left as far as like on that side of the family, this side of the family, and my brothers, but that's it. Brother. I don't count the other one anymore. It's that whole fiasco. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that your family's going through all that. Wow. That's a lot at once. Sorry to hear. Thanks, George. Chris. Yeah, dude. You're freezing, Mike. I'm not freezing. I'm just sitting here looking at the comments I missed. Just taking it one day at a time. Yeah, that's all you can do, man. That's the hardest thing too, man. That is not easy. I forgot you were from the UK. That's right. So are you back in the United States now, or are you still stuck over there with COVID, not being able to travel because of everything that's going on? Not sure you want to come back here right now with all the hurricanes and everything we got going on in this country. All right, I think I got an idea here what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to run another piece kind of like right off of this at an angle. There we go. So this is going to be my green section here. So I'm going to transfer those angles are going to come across and then over here somewhere on top too as well. This is the outside of the leg, inside. So then I can transfer those lines onto this panel as well and maybe get one or two more pieces in here somewhere. I might do one across the top of this too. Probably. Yeah, I'll do a little bit, something like that. You're back. Okay. Well, that's good. All right. Moving on. Let's see here. Continuing on with this. So I think I can just sidestep that over just like that. And now what I'll do here is I'll bring another piece off of this side. Yeah, and then maybe one right here. Get rid of these big end pieces here. There. And I got that, and now I can do some more along the front of this. So this is going to be green here. Let's see. I've got all those lower panels too. This is all a little bit of thought process into it, but not too terribly difficult. Just just time consuming, I think, is really where this boils down to. Well, Chris, hopefully now that you're back, you can get back to the bench a little bit in some time and start making some magic again, like you always did before. All right, I need some 6 mil here. I'll put down 2 strips of this. I think I can get 2 in here. So I go back to work next week. And I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to it, but at the same time, I'm not. I know it's going to be a struggle getting back into the groove, but let's see. How can I do this? Trying to find that balance. I want to make sure I'm not using too much of the camel, but not too little either. Let's see. I think I'll just cut a few of these 6 mil here because I'm going to go around this peg. On the base of it anyway. Well, let me do around the. Still stuck on the SDF1 attack. Oh, starting to figure out hole placement and optics. Yeah, no kidding. That was a challenge for sure. What Chris is talking about, he's building the 4000, the Hasegawa SDF1, but it's the fast attack version, right? Not the cruiser mode. It's in attack mode, and he's trying to put fiber optics in it and lighting, everything like that. Oh gosh, it took a lot of downtime planning to kind of figure out how to do that. I basically funneled everything to the center area where the stand came out. I kind of tried to parallel everything down. I had a lot of LEDs and stuff in series because I wanted to run it off a 9-volt battery. So I was doing three LEDs at a time in series. That way, unless I was using a red LED, I didn't have to really put any resistors in there much to easily run it off a 9 volts. But then it was a matter. Then once I got all those in series, then I was able to parallel them down. And I ultimately had to run it off of two batteries because I found out that the LEDs I had that flashed, I had some 6 hertz. I used some blue 6 hertz, 6 hertz I think, and then some red 1 hertz flashing LEDs. I didn't do any Arduino board or anything like that. It was just the LEDs I bought were made to flash. But I found out that when those were flashing on and off, it was creating that voltage drop. It was kind of making my static lights pulse. So what I did is I just separated that circuit. I was like, fine, I'll put that one on one circuit, all the flashing LEDs on one circuit, and the static LEDs on one circuit, on their separate circuit. And then I just ran 2 9-volt batteries in the base, one for each. That worked. I mean, that was my solution, other than using like an Arduino or something like that, which I don't know what would have been easier. So I'm going to need a fairly long piece here. I think 5 centimeters should be more than enough. I want to go around this circle here. I'm going to go around this so I can mask that off. Won't need too much because I'm not going to put a lot of green around here. I think it's mostly going to be just here and up front, so I don't have to get too crazy with it. I just don't want any paint on it. So it doesn't have to. Could even just kind of create a tent around it with some of these other pieces. That might work too, rather than running a strip all the way around. I may just do that. So I've already got these cut. Clear red. Would it have been easier to have painted the tip of the optics. No. The optics I was using was so small. Here's the question he's asking. Would it have been easier to paint the tip of the optics with clear red instead? Yeah, I'm gonna say absolutely not, because I was using 0.5 millimeter, even some 0.25 in some cases, and it's just so terribly small. And the problem is that the fiber optics light up so bright that when you paint them with clear paint, it's almost like it just blows out the color, and you don't really see it as much. That's why it was better to use a bright red LED and just put a resistor on it, just to keep it, nice and bright red. But yeah, you're doing the fast attack version, which is in itself another challenge, because now it's, all the legs. I mean, everything. I guess it's not much different than what I had to deal with, but it's just a matter of figuring out, where to funnel all those pieces through, all that fiber optic and the wiring. Because I had each section of the ship, like if you take like the engines, or not the engines, but we'll just say the main gun in the front, there's basically 3 sections of the ship up there, and each one had 2 LEDs, a white one and a flashing red. So there was 2 LEDs in essentially every section of the ship except for the legs, which had 3 because of the engines had a blue 6 hertz flashing blue LED there for the engines. So that was my solution. I just built a tent around that. Keep that nice and clean. Don't have to worry about running a strip. All right, back to the mosaic or whatever. So, and then so that's 2 wires per LED. So you got 4 wires there, and then I had to run 3 of those, like 3 LEDs in series. So I ran all the red ones in series and all the white ones in series by them, separate. So I had to figure out where each section came together, and then I could parallel those down to 2 wires, and then those would go to the central area where everything would be paired down to 2 wires. It can get kind of confusing and mind-boggling and overwhelming. And there were times where I would just sit there and stare at it going, okay, how am I going to do this? Because you basically have to re-engineer the entire way the kit goes together. You can't build it step by step, because you're changing everything by adding those internal elements. And then you got the fiber optics to deal with. You got to be able to heat it up and bend those and make sure they don't break. And the right type of glue is very important. And it can be a challenge for sure. Let's see here. Okay, so they got a little bit running across the top of that, but I'm not really going there. I might do a little bit here. Across the back, maybe. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so I don't want to get any in here, so I'm going to take the opportunity to use this as a way to mask off this hole, so I can not worry about getting paint in there. Gosh, we're already at 7:15. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, I hate it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could say just from experience, having done a few kits with LEDs, it does get a little bit easier as far as, with experience, but it's still, it still is, each project has its own, inherent challenges. So it's never, no two are the same. I still have all those SDF1 kits too. I have 3 left. I've got both fast attack versions and 1 TV version cruiser mode left. So one of these days I'm going to bust into one of those and start doing that again. But I don't know when at this point. Because knowing me, I'll probably make it complicated and have to put fiber optics in it again. I think it would be nice to have two side by side. Like I might want to do the movie version, Fast Attack, like you're doing, and try to light it all up and everything like that. But I don't know. It's so time consuming, so mind boggling. All right, that's not a straight line. I don't like the way that came out, so I'm going to go there. Trying to go over these irregular surfaces, it's not easy. I think I need to sharpen up this edge though, so I'm going to take a small piece of 6mm here. I want to make sure all these lines are straight, and sometimes when they go around the corners, of course they can change shape and kind of almost get a little crooked or curved. So I'm trying to eliminate that, by just overlapping these pieces a little bit to kind of make it straight. I want straight chiseled lines in order to recreate this properly. Let's see if I go that way. That's all right. All right, now one more piece, I think, across. Oh, let's see, River. What's up, River? How you doing? Hey, yo. Good to have you. Welcome in. I'm going to run one more piece across the top of this. Just to make this last line nice and straight. That's cool. And one of the things I plan to do with this color, this green, so this is basically the three colors of this kit mostly, other than there's some gray and some darker gray and stuff, but essentially you got number 315, that's gray, FS16440, Mr. Color, and then the UG01, which is Gundam color white, and then 52, which is field gray, but it has a green tinge to it. I'm not going to do a heavy coat of that green. I'm just going to start out misting it pretty lightly just to give it the shadow effect of that camo, not so much a deep crisp line. I just want the color to be there but not be too saturated. So that's one of the things I want to be careful with when I do this. It's just going to be starting off with really light coats and just lay more down until you get the desired effect. But I think doing a lighter not so stark heavy coat might look nicer. It'll give a little bit more of a worn camo, a camo pattern that's been on there a while too. And so I won't have to try to counter that with weathering later on. I think if I do that step, if I do it right, we'll see. Once I do the first couple pieces here, I'll see what it looks like. And if I do, I'll just have to go over it again. Then I'll go put a little more paint down, but we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so this is still exposed. I'm going to cover all this up. I'm just trying to get a little piece back here. Don't think I'm going to do much in the way. Yeah, there's some in the back. Not on that side, just on one side. So I don't know. We'll see. I might just cover all this up on this side in the back. It's hard when you got all these overlapping edges to see every single corner. Coming to us from Twitch. Gotta watch Twitch. Had somebody come in last week from Twitch, and yeah, it wasn't exactly what I needed to hear. See, fortunately for you guys, everybody that's on YouTube watching me there or on Facebook, you only see the comments that you guys post from your location. I see all the comments from every single platform, depending on which one is, and where they're coming from. When it, from Twitch or YouTube, I can tell exactly who's talking and from where. So you guys didn't get to see that comment from Twitch, but it wasn't very appropriate. And so that person promptly received the ban button after the stream was over. Because I don't have any time for that. I don't promote it. I don't condone it. I'm not going to accept it. If somebody wants to be rude, do it somewhere else. This is not the place for it. We're here to enjoy this hobby, help new people learn new things, help old people learn new things. Who knows? You're right. I'm not here to have rude comments. I don't need to feel dead. Don't need to put up with it. So I won't. Nipped in the butt. All right, guys, it's at 7:22 Pacific time. We're getting down there. A few more minutes, and then we'll call it a session. Call it a meeting. Call it a live stream. Whichever. I'm just buttoning up the last of this area over here that I don't want. Yeah, it's funny when you put this much tape on, eventually you got to take it all off. And it's kind of amazing how fast the tape comes off. It definitely doesn't go on as quickly as it comes off. I just don't want any overspray, especially if I've got to do light misting coats. There's going to be quite a bit of free-floating overspray maybe. And I just, try to prevent as much of that as possible. So. Okay, so now I got that. I got a little bit in the back here. I got a little piece here. I got to finish off that just a little bit. Bring that down. We'll lose that. Okay. A little more here to cover up. If I can get this in there. It's going to be kind of a challenge. I'm trying to squeeze this. There we go. Right in. Perfect. Get into a little slot there just to cover up that groove. Looks like I need a little tiny piece. Well, actually, I'll use the 6. There's just a little more right here. I'll use the burnishing tool to get it in there. That should do the trick. With minimal touch-ups if necessary, but I should be able to. Okay, now I just got to seal off the rest of this. I think I like the way that's going to transfer to this panel here, so I just need to figure out where I'm going to finish that or how I'm going to finish that. A few more pieces of tape here. It's a little hard because there's a lot of raised surfaces on this corner, so it's a little bit harder to. Let's see, I'll go this way. Yeah. I'll take this and just cut this right there. That will allow my tape to go around that corner a little bit. All right. Yeah, that won't be that. That'll be on the inside.
Gotta be careful. Don't move my tape. I taped across moving parts. All right. So that's still exposed. That's exposed. Okay. We're getting there. This is one of the bigger pieces. So this is only one leg. I mean, I did these. It's taken an hour and a half pretty much to just do 3 pieces almost. It's going to be a while. It's going to take some time to do this process. All right, so I'm going to keep moving down in front of this. Let's see, I think I'll go across here. I don't want those to be painted green, so I think what I'll do is cut off this section right almost immediately here. That's all right. I'll continue this line in this direction. Perfect. Yep. All right, we're getting there. And we're almost out of time. So I'm going to start wrapping things up here. I'll put one more piece on and we'll call it. Yeah, I like that better. All right, folks. Didn't get a whole lot done. This is a time-consuming process. So hopefully in the next week or so, I'll be able to get more of this done. So we won't have to sit here and be bored with it after that. But anyway, for those that didn't get to see earlier, I'll do one last thing. I'll light up these lights again so you guys can all see that. Just to show that off for those that came in a little bit late. So here's the fiber optics. I pulled the little plugs I had in there. So now the fiber optics are exposed. So now we can see the blue light. It looks nice. I think it looks really cool. And I haven't even put the glass lenses in there yet. There's the 4 little glass bulbs that go in there. Those will go in after I clear coat everything at the end, so they're nice and shiny. And yeah, I think that's good. I just got to solve the problem with the wiring because I got to figure out how to get it out through the tail there without being in the way of the stand. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. But we'll figure that out. We'll sort these things out before next week. So anywho, boys and girls, very cool. Thanks, George. Oh, there's me face. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate each and every one of you. As always, I say it every single time, and I mean it with the bottom of my heart. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm going to try to get some of this done over the weekend. We'll see. Actually, we've got Gundam Mobile Base coming to Redmond, Washington, so we're going to be checking that out. We're going to get there early and maybe pick up some unique stuff. We'll see. I'm not into the clear kits. There's a lot of those available, so we'll see. But I'm going to check that out too. But yeah, we're going to go Saturday, so we get there when they got all their stock and try to get some nice stuff. So anyway, fine face. Yeah, you wouldn't say that if you saw me in person, George. Anyway, thanks for coming in, George. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, River. Thanks, Julius and Nick and who else? Ron. Yeah, all you guys are in here. I got everybody. I don't think I missed anybody. Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, Giovanni. I forgot about Giovanni. Yeah, and Manny. Good to have you as well. All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll catch you on the flip. Peace out. I got to end that stream. That's right. I got to do that first. And then we go to the outro. See this?